Yo YouTube, what's going on? What's poppin'? It's your boy Rogue Spirit again. Welcome to my channel. For those of you who are new, Rogue Spirit's gaming channel. It's good to be back in a new video, and you know what? I have a great game that, I consider to be really good, which is Breath of Fire 2, the Game Boy Advance version. I felt like the Game Boy Advance version, kind of cleared up things a bit, made the overall experience a bit more smoother. This is a JRPG, and this is a long game. I felt like on the Super Nintendo, the game wasn't really generous with its experience points. And I felt like you were just gaining levels at a slower pace. The game kind of dragged on. The random battles, the encounter rate was so high. But the Game Boy Advance version is the way to go, in my opinion. And just to be clear, Breath of Fire 2 is not my favorite game in the Breath of Fire series. Obviously, it's Breath of Fire 4. That game is fantastic. Check it out. Play that game if you guys haven't. It's really good. But yeah, Breath of Fire 2, it's still a great game, and I still find myself coming back to this game constantly. So that's what I want to focus on in today's video. I want to talk about Breath of Fire 2, and how does it hold up in 2022? Well, we're gonna find out. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that jazz, and let's get right into it.
Back in the 1990s, we were all familiar with Final Fantasy. I loved Final Fantasy, but I always wondered, what other JRPG games are out there that will give me the same kind of experience as the Final Fantasy series? And lo and behold, I ran into Breath of Fire. Now, my older cousins used to play this game all the time, and I remember admiring the sprite work and the characters, and the music was fantastic. Now, I'm not gonna lie and say that I played this game on an original Super Nintendo console system. I actually emulated this game, and I didn't play Breath of Fire 1 and 2 until maybe 2002. So I was, I knew I had a rough idea about how these games play and what they're kind of about, but I decided to experience them for myself when I was a bit older, and I wanted to see just why, people that I'm close to, why are they so infatuated with Breath of Fire? I always thought that Final Fantasy looked way better, but I played it, and you know what? Breath of Fire 1 was a good time. Despite its flaws, the game had, too many random encounters, and it had pacing issues where, the game felt like it was moving at a slow pace because you're just fighting and getting into a random battle every single step. When you talk to the NPCs in the towns, they don't really say anything that kind of guides you in the right direction, or they don't say anything noteworthy. It was just kind of random. English translation was just all over the place. I don't think that they did a good job localizing the text for the game. I reviewed Breath of Fire 1 a while back. You guys can check out the review. I'll provide the link in the description of this video.
But enough about Breath of Fire 1. You guys are here for Breath of Fire 2, so let's get on with it.
Breath of Fire 2 is set in a unique world, like any other JRPGs, but I have to admit that the music is fantastic in this game, especially at the start of the game. The opening scene starts off like any other Legend of Zelda game, with Ryu sleeping in his bed and is woken up by the head priest of the church, who is Ryu's father, named Goner. And fitting name because he's literally gone after you wake up the dragon. Okay, perhaps his name is actually pronounced as Gainer, the name spelled G-A-N-E-R, but I don't know, sounds like Goner to me. I just suck at pronouncing names. So yeah, Ryu is woken up by his father while he's in bed, and I thought Link was lazy. But yeah, he basically tells Ryu that his sister Yua is missing and requests that you go out and search for her. Ha, parents, hey? Always giving us the hard chores. After talking to the townspeople, you have to go look for your sister, who is found up in the mountainside in front of a old dragon's corpse. Kind of freaky. And some things are explained about how Gainer wouldn't have been able to protect Ryu and Yua against the monster which attacked the village a long time ago, but thanks to the dragon which protected them, Gainer was able to protect those who he cared about. And honestly, shit just gets weird after that. Ryu starts hallucinating and the screen goes from black and white to being fully colored now. There's this creepy Illuminati eye that starts talking all gibberish and weird, typical JRPG villain stuff like, I am God, and it's pretty messed up, man. Once back in the village, you realize that your father and sister are missing, and the townsfolk don't really recognize you. And then Ryu bumps into Bo, and both of them decide to leave the village and form their own path in life. I respect that. And then you enter a trippy ass cave, and then you fight basically a Dark Souls boss right at the start of the game who is super over leveled and one shots you. And yeah, basically that's my summary of the story of Breath of Fire 2. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Don't forget to subscribe and like. The story is nothing over the top or really deep like Final Fantasy VI. It's kind of soft-hearted in a sense where, yeah, some things are kind of a little bit serious at the start of the game. Story's not bad. It's still a good JRPG story in my opinion, even though it's typical or generic for today's standards.
Now let's talk about the battle system, because I think that the battle system in each Breath of Fire game works kind of differently. I honestly think the battle system in Breath of Fire 4 is the best, but yeah, let's talk about the battle system in Breath of Fire 2. By the way, I love the battle theme. Kicks ass.
Now the battle system works like any other JRPG really. Instead of it being like Final Fantasy 4 and 6 where there's the active time battle system, where when you constantly select attack or select your potions and magic spells, the other enemy still kind of does their turn. This game is more turn-based in a traditional sense where you kind of just select your attack, your magic, your spells, your guts, whatever, your dragon transformations, which there are 3 of in this game by the way. On top of that, you also got the amazing shaman fusions in the game, where you can basically, fuse characters together, which is really cool. Yeah, so you select your attacks and then basically the battle just plays out turn by turn. So yeah, the battle system is nothing to write home about, but I still appreciate the sprite work, and I really think that the in-game character models during these battles look fantastic. It's really cool stuff and it's perfect eye candy in my opinion. Now, what I find really unique about the Game Boy Advance version compared to the SNES version of the game is that, see, in the Super Nintendo version, you kind of had to hunt animals in order to make money, in order to buy equipment and, kind of up your stats a bit. Typical JRPG stuff, but you wouldn't know that unless you looked up a guide or talked to somebody who knew what they were doing. Because when I first played the game on Super Nintendo, I was like, what the hell's going on? I don't have enough money to purchase gear, and trust me, I was grinding so much that the game became kind of tedious. And now I realize that yeah, you have to hunt these animals with Bo, like his special attack on the world map where he uses his arrows to kind of hunt down animals. I didn't know that, but the Game Boy Advance version, it gives you a lot of money. It actually feels like the pacing of the game is way better in the Game Boy Advance version. So that's the version that I would highly recommend. So that's truly appreciated and honestly made my time revisiting Breath of Fire 2 that much more greater. And honestly, like it's a game changer in my opinion. Now, another thing unique about the Game Boy Advance port of Breath of Fire 2 is that now we have these manga-like images installed during the cutscenes of the game. And these actually look pretty great. The sprite work is done pretty good. The colors look pretty good. I really liked it. It added some more personality to the characters and the world that Breath of Fire 2 exists in. So that's really great. And the run button, where you hold the B button down and your character runs all fast and stuff, that's really appreciated in this port. No longer are you moving at a snail's pace. Hell yeah. You can't catch me.
So overall, guys, I highly recommend the Game Boy Advance port for Breath of Fire 2 for a lot of reasons. You get triple the XP, triple the money, you got a run button, you got these amazing looking manga, animated cartoony cutscenes, which is really cool and really appreciated. And yeah, I can't honestly go back and play the Super Nintendo version. So I highly recommend that if you guys are interested, please play the Game Boy Advance port of Breath of Fire 2 and give Breath of Fire 4 a chance. Yeah, that's my thoughts on Breath of Fire 2. Eventually I'll do Breath of Fire 3 and Breath of Fire 4, but for now I just wanted to focus on the classics that kind of started it all. And honestly, with all these remasters coming out recently, like Chrono Cross, the Radical Dreamers edition for the Switch, which is out this Thursday I believe, I'm gonna check that out for sure. You guys can bet I'm gonna review that game.
Now, my honest opinion is that Breath of Fire 2 is still worth it in 2022, especially the Game Boy Advance port, which is the one that I'm recommending here fully. So if I had to score Breath of Fire 2 for the Super Nintendo, I would give it like a 7 out of 10. But the Game Boy Advance version, I'm giving it 7.8 out of 10. I believe that the overall pacing was really fixed in the GBA port, and honestly I'm looking forward to returning to this experience in the near future. The Breath of Fire series as a whole holds a special place in my heart, and I will always be there to support this series, and I recommend you guys check it out. So with that said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget to leave a comment and share your thoughts on Breath of Fire 2. Are you gonna play it? Or are you just gonna kind of skip it? And yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next episode of Rogue Spirit Reviews.
Peace out, everybody. Much love and take care.